guys, it's Ariel here from Fix My Books, and today I am going to take you on a tour of your CRA My Business account. So first things first, all you need to do is to go to this page, and I will have this linked below. Next is we're going to click My Business Account. So I'm going to sign in this way because that's the way I sign in, but if you sign in a different way, then use your sign in partner. So obviously sign in using your username and password. Click next. And this is the first screen that you should see when you log in to your CRA My Business account. So over here on the left, you'll see it says Overview. So that's the page that we're in. Next, you'll see what it says Profile. I'll go and show you guys that later on. And then below Profile, you'll see it says GST, HST, Payroll, Corporate Income Tax, blah, blah, blah. So if you have more program accounts, let's say you have dividends that you filed previously, you'll see it says information returns, and that's what the dividends are. If you have excise duty tax, blah, 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 it will all be on the left side. Now, if you don't have a payroll account, then you won't see that on the left. If you don't have a GST, HST account, then you won't see that on the left. So if you log in and you only see a corporate income tax account, that's totally fine as well. And under that, you'll see it says Correspondence and then Mail. And it's, you see there's like a red thing. It says number 1. So it means you have one unread mail from the CRA. Obviously, if you have more, it will say like 20, 30, right? If you've never checked it before. So I'll go to that later on as well, but I just wanted you guys to be familiar with this screen. Next is the Submit Documents area. So if you have a case or reference number with the CRA, usually you'll get it in a letter saying this is your case or reference number. We need you to submit documents. This is where you will submit it. And then connect with us, message center. These are just maintenance things that you can go to the CRA with. So the most important ones, I would say, would be profile and then all your account details. So first things first, let's go to profile. And the reason why profile is actually so important is because this is where all the information about your company is. So we'll click into profile so you guys can see what this looks like. So once you're here in profile, you should see something like this. The profile area is where you can do a lot of maintenance in your CRA My Business account. So for example, if you want to update the mailing address of your account, you can update that by clicking Manage Addresses. So you can have different mailing addresses for actually different types of program account numbers. So if you want all the payroll mail to go somewhere else, you can choose to do that as well. Now here under phone number, you'll see the name and the phone number of the owner. The effective date is the date you actually added that phone number into the account. So if you want to update your phone number, you can click Manage Owner Phone Number to add or update your phone number with the CRA. Next is notification preferences. So we'll click into that. But just so you know, once you do put an email address here with the CRA, they will stop sending you paper mail. So I'll click into Manage Notification Preferences. And you can see it says, when an email address is added, we will stop sending paper mail and send an email when there is mail to view in the My Business account. So just take note of that once you put an email in here, you are no longer going to receive any paper mail from the CRA. Now you can have multiple email addresses here. So if there are 2 owners, 2 emails, 3 owners, 3 emails, and so on. Or maybe you just want 1 owner email to handle everything. That's fine as well. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Again, you can even do like remove account notifications if you want to start receiving paper mail again. What could happen is like, oh, maybe I want all, HST and like corporate income tax to be online, but I want all payroll to be by paper mail. You can do that. Just because one account is receiving online emails doesn't mean that the other accounts will too. You can add and delete or remove notifications for each account that you want. So you can like pick and choose, mix and match. It's not really an issue. So now we're back again in profile. You can see it says authorized representatives down here. That is how you can authorize your bookkeeper or your accountant or tax preparer to be an authorized representative in your CRA My Business account. So I'm just going to click manage authorized representatives over here. And you'll see that this is how it looks like. So you can choose to authorize a representative yourself, or if they actually added you in their account already, you can click confirm pending authorizations, and there should be, like a pending request over there. But there's none, so obviously there's none, and you can see all your current authorized representatives right here. And again, if you want to add another authorized representative, you can do so. Or if you want to delete one, click into the representative and then remove them as an authorized representative. So this is where you can do that as well. And so we scroll down a little bit and you'll see the box that says direct deposit. So this company does not have direct deposit turned on, meaning if it has a refund or anything like that, the CRA will have to mail out a check to the company and the company deposits that check into their bank account. Now, if you want to, you can add your direct deposit details here, which will obviously quicken your refund because it's direct deposit. You don't need to wait for the mail, the paper check in the mail and things like that. So if you want to, you can add that here. And then you can just click manage direct deposit. It will take you to this screen. I agree, and so on and so forth. Just follow the instructions on how to do it. But you see it says if you choose to stop direct deposit, you're allowing the CRA to remove information on file and send a check in the mail for any money owed to the business accounts to the mailing addresses on file. Once you put direct deposit, they're going to direct deposit everything. But if you choose to remove direct deposit, they are again going to send you paper checks in the mail. Okay? And then another portion here would be obviously program account name. So you can see it says not set up on any of these. It's because if you want to give it a nickname, basically you can. So you can call this, sales tax account, payroll account, whatever. I don't really care to name them different things because it's pretty straightforward. HST, payroll, corporate income tax. So I don't do that. Next will be the operating name. So if let's say you're a sole proprietorship, John Smith, and you have a company called like John Smith's Woodworking or something like that, then you have to click manage operating names and add that name to your CRA account. So I just want to show you guys what that looks like. So your operating name is the name you use in your day-to-day activities and to advertise your business. You only need to provide your operating name if it's different from your legal name. So again, John Smith advertises as ABC Farming, so the operating name is ABC Framing, not farming, ABC Framing. And just make sure that you have a DBA or doing business as certificate when you have an operating name. You can't just call your business whatever you like if you don't have that DBA or doing business as for your name. And this is very, very common. So a lot of people, they will register a corporation and it's just like, 11111 Ontario Inc. or Canada Inc. or whatever. And so they will need an operating name like this, like ABC Properties, as their operating name. So if you do have one, make sure that you add it under here in operating names. This business doesn't have an operating name. Their legal name is the name that they do business as, so they don't need to add one. Next, you can see over here, business numbers in your profile. We're not really going to deal with that. There's only one business number. And then you can see here under that, it says language preference. Now for this language preference, obviously Canada has two official languages, which is English or French. So you can choose what language you want your correspondence in. So if you click manage language preference, you can choose English or French. That's up to you. I obviously don't speak French, so everything will be in English. And now for one of the most important parts, it's actually the CRA security options. So if you have, modify your CRA user ID, password, security questions, and more, this is where you'll do that. So multi-factor authentication settings. So, the code they send to your phone, or maybe instead of a code to your phone, you want to use an authenticator app instead. Then this is where you will make those changes. Again, as I said, this profile section is one of the most important sections in your CRA My Business account as a business owner, right? This is where you can make a lot of the changes, like admin stuff. Okay, so now we're back in overview, and this is where you can navigate to each of these program accounts. So let's just go to the GST HST account, for example. You see how it says RT0001 below? That's because there are some businesses with two different program accounts. So you could see two here. Very rarely, but you could see two. Okay, RT002 instead of 001. It's because if you already closed your HST account previously, then you open it up again, it will be RT0002. Okay, so just click that, and then you'll see an overview of your GST HST account over here. So you can see filed returns. These are all the returns that you've already filed with the CRA. This again is the most recent return that you filed over here. You can see on the top right. And then this is the expected return. So this is returns not really due yet, right? But they're expecting this. So status is next return. So there are people who obviously are not very compliant. So when they log into here, they'll see all of these returns, and it will say expected return still because they haven't filed it, but it will say overdue because it's already overdue for filing. So for this account, you can see it says the due date, the next one is September 30, 2025. And then I'll just scroll down a little bit. And then here is where you can see file a return, view return details, or adjust a return. So if you made a mistake or something like that with an HST return that you filed, you can just click adjust a return. File a return is for when it's the first time you're actually filing. Obviously, view return details if you want a detailed version of the HST return. It's basically a copy of the HST return you already filed with the CRA. Next is the one on the right. This is actually important, the enquiries service, because there are some business owners who accidentally send the payment to a wrong account or wrong year. So they're paying the HST, but then they put, this is for the period ending June 2023, when it should go to June 2024. So if you can't find the payment yourself, because you can transfer it yourself, if you can't find the payment yourself to transfer it, use this enquiry service and they will help you. Next, you can request relief of penalties and interest. you can try to do this. I barely, like, honestly, I've barely seen anybody who is successful in requesting relief of penalties and interest unless, someone died. Like literally someone died. So that's that. Next, you can file a formal dispute or notice of objection to a CRA assessment, reassessment, or determination. If you want to know more about filing a notice of objection, we actually have another video in our YouTube channel that goes over like what happened, like how do you get to this notice of objection point, and like when is the last day that you can actually file this. It's in the video called Notice of Collections, right? I will link that video down below, but there's a timeline up to when you can actually file a notice of objection. So I've actually never submitted a PDF form with electronic signature. I've never done that because I've just filed everything straight with the CRA. I guess you can do that here. Or this is, again, close your GST, HST accounts if you're closing down your business. Or for whatever reason, again, I've seen people who've done it. They are closing their GST, HST account, so you can do that here as well. So this is a really useful area, like where you can pay, view and pay account balance if you have one. This is where you're going to do that. Direct deposit transactions as well, you can see that here. And calculate and pay installment payments. This is actually a really important area because even if you pay your HST on time and in full, if you were required to make installment payments, which you did not, you can still be charged penalties and interests. So I will scroll into here, calculate and pay installment payments, agree for this period ending in 2025. Estimated tax that you're gonna owe, let's say 10,000. Let's just use like a round number. And then calculate, and then it will give you the amount of installments that you need to pay. So this is a very useful area in your HST account. And like, don't be intimidated by this. Don't be like, oh, I'll pay right now. No, you can pay, you can follow their date and then pay when the installment is due. You don't need to make an installment payment right away. Okay, and then again, this is where you can view and pay your account balance. So click into it. And then, make prepayments towards a specific. So again, this is if you want to prepay, right, the installment payments, you can pay that here. And then if you have other balances that, balance not yet due, you can click proceed to pay over here. So this person owes this amount of money, but it's before it's due. So the CRA already knows. So you can click proceed to pay, or maybe they can pay some other way, like using Pay Simply or their bank or whatever. But you can also pay that over here if you want to. And then here you can see period end balances. This person has paid everything, so there is no balance owing. If there is a balance owing, you will see the balance here, and then you can just choose what year the balance is and then pay that amount. Okay, so now we're back in overview, and then here you'll see on the left, we'll go to the payroll account. And then here, you can see how it's very similar to the HST account. There's just a couple of differences. So obviously here will be reports. There's nothing to report because there's no mismatch. Returns will be the returns you've already filed. So you can see down here, one has been rejected and then another one has been accepted by the CRA. So I'm not sure what happened with the submission. Maybe there was an error during the time it was being submitted. So here's the thing, guys. When you're submitting T4s, during that time before Feb 28, if a lot of people are submitting at the same time, there's a lot of errors that happen. So totally normal. If you see this, don't freak out. And then next is remittances, reporting requirement and stuff like that. To make a remittance, you can click pay source deduction remittance. If there are no remittances required, you just click a nil remittance return, something like that. So if you have a peer review, so pensionable and insurable earnings review, if your T4s don't match your T4 summary, there's a discrepancy, this is where it's going to show up. So not really much to do here. Mostly you'll be in returns and then file a return. So you're doing this once a year. If this is, if you're the one filing the T4s and stuff like that, you'll click file a return and do it that way. So if you actually want to view a return, you can click view return details over here, and then you can go year by year and then click, let's say you want to see the 2023 return. You can click this and you will see the details of a return. You won't see the actual T4 summary or T4, but you will see all the information from that return, like what was in box like this, what was in box like that, what is the total of this. You will see that here. So just click, the name processed and stuff like that, and then that's where you're going to see all those details. And obviously, if you have notices from the CRA, this is where you can respond to the notices. If you want to request a CPP or EI ruling, this is a very you're never really going to use this. So this is a very special situation for you to use that. If you want a refund, if again you want to request relief of penalties and interest, if you want to file an appeal or you want to close your payroll account, that's all down here. You're very rarely ever going to use any of these. Okay, so next we'll go to the corporation income tax account. Okay, so this is your corporate income tax account. As you can see, it looks very similar to all the other program accounts. You're used to this already on the right. So inquiry service, again, if they made the payment to the wrong year, which they often do, believe me. So it's supposed to go to like 2023 and they put 2022. You can't find the payment. You can ask the CRA to look for it and transfer it to the correct, year. You can do that here. And you can also do remittance voucher. So if you want to pay the CRA like via check and you want to mail it in, you can do a remittance voucher over here. Request relief of penalties and interest. Again, notice of objection. This is going to be in our notice of collections video. There's a timeline when you can actually file this. So don't just file this like willy-nilly. And then last, again, you can close your corporate tax income account over here. So same as the one I showed you before, you can click view or pay account balance, and any balance owing you can pay through that, and then calculate and pay installment payments like what I showed you guys last time with HST. So you put the amount that you think you're gonna owe, and then it's gonna calculate it for you, and then the dates when you need to remit that. And then same thing, this is, if you click the word assessed, it will actually take you to the corporate income tax return that's filed, but not like the actual printed copy, but just the information in the return. So it will say just like, oh, you put this in line 3000, this is what is in line like this, but it doesn't look like an actual corporate tax return. It's just the information like the T4 thing and I told you guys about. So it's not going to be like unofficial, like how you receive it from your accountant or what was filed. It's just, it has the information of whatever was filed with the CRA. Okay. So if you actually click assessed over here, I'll click it so you guys can see. And then here you'll see it says T2, schedule like this, schedule like that. So if you see your corporate income tax return, the actual printed one, each schedule is like a different portion of the return. So this is what I mean, like it has the information in whatever you filed, but it's not gonna look like a corporate income tax return. It will just look like this. It's not gonna like give you a copy of what was actually filed, like the actual how it looks like, if that makes sense. It just has the same information. So this is where, if the CRA ever like ask, because sometimes you have to call and they have to say, oh, we have to verify you, can you tell us what it was in line 3,000 of schedule 100, whatever it is. If you don't know and you don't have the actual corporate income tax return in front of you, you can go to this page and then just look for it. And it will, since it has the same information, you can say, oh, it was like $100 in line 3,000, whatever it is, right? This is where you can find that. Okay, and then last and certainly not the least, it's the mail area of your CRA My Business Account. So I'll click into it now. And you should see something like this. So you see everything else is grayed out because they have been read. So this is the only one that's not read. So we'll click into it and you will see a preview of the notice of assessment over here. It's not actually like, don't try to click print or save because it's gonna be ugly. It will not print nicely. If you want the actual official looking notice of assessment, click PDF. Save it as a PDF, this one. Don't click this, click this. And then it will look like as if the CRA sent you the mail. So make sure you click PDF if that's what you actually want to see. So you can scroll down and then you'll see like more parts of like what the CRA sent you, blah, blah, blah. Again, don't click print or save, click PDF so you get like a nice version of it. So again, here it's actually really good what they did. So if you just want to, see anything related to corporate income tax, you can click that here and then it will filter it and you'll only see mail related to corporate income tax, right? Or if you want correspondence type, if it's a letter, if it's a notice, it's a statement, or date range, maybe you're looking for something from a particular year or a particular year end period. So just because you click like 2024 doesn't mean that it's related to your year end ending in 2024. So that's all the mail for 2024. If it's regarding a particular period end, like year end, it's easier to search for it this way instead of the date range. So this did not used to look like this. This was like a recent change, which is actually really good because now you can filter, by all these types of things. So that is the mail area. Okay, and we're back here in the overview section of your CRA My Business Account, and this concludes our CRA My Business Account tour. Hopefully this video was helpful in just helping you guys navigate, your My Business Account. I think some people are intimidated. They don't want to click the buttons because they're scared of, what might happen. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I hope this video was actually helpful for you guys. And once again, this is Ariel from Fix My Books, helping you fix your books.